Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero, Chapter 78. And yeah, if this feels a little late, guys, sorry. I've I've needed to try and take as much. I've needed to try and take as much time, pretty much to myself, outside of the reviews as I can, because yeah, no, it's been again. Uh, I'll get into the details eventually, but let's just say it's been a rough couple of weeks for sure. Um, but yeah, so when I do get to the reviews, I can hopefully give you at least a good like kind of energy with the review. But with that said, let's get into Eden Zero Chapter 78 review. So let's talk about the ending where it's revealed that from Lobelia is being held captive and that Rebecca has the designation of to Dragon Joe as number 29. And I had to read this chapter a couple times just from how confused I was by these implications, but then it finally clicked in me. And when it did click in me, I'm not gonna lie, my eyes went fucking wide. Like literally, if you can imagine my reaction, I was like, "Are you really doing this, Mashima?" Which, if he is, I shouldn't be too surprised because I think he did something similar back in the uh, in the Gilstark. So it's not that surprising considering this world, but yeah. Basically, the implications of this chapter are that Rebecca and possibly Lobelia are merchandise, which was the obvious thing, I suppose, but this just paints a whole new picture on the Shooting Starlight Guild in the sense where no, where obviously, again, we can all trace this back to Noah, the leader and guildmaster of Shooting Starlight. And it's very much at this point. I think it's very much possible that Noah is using the Shooting Starlight itself as a front in order to hide all of his illegal activities, which in this case, in this particular case, happen to be human trafficking. I mean, really, that's pretty much what this whole situation is with him with basically with pretty much with with basically Dragon Joe revealing that Rebecca is the valuable thing that she that he wanted on board the Eden Zero. Uh, but the extra element of this is the major reveal that her last name is Blugarden, and which just from that major reveal in itself of Rebecca's full name being Rebecca Blugarden, that tells me Mashima might be somewhat repeating that, which I'm kind of of two minds about this. It right off the bat, it tells me that Mashima might be repeating what he did with Lucy in the sense of making Rebecca tied to the royalty of the planet. So in that sense, if it is that route, if this is the route that Mashima is going with, it is good in the sense of building the world and how it functions, how the society functions, but it still does feel like a little bit of a retread. I can't lie about that. Like just with her like being tied to the name Blugarden, you can kind of tell that there's going to be some kind of royalty aspect here or something or other. Now, now having said that, now one of the bigger questions with this reveal of her last name being Blugarden is what exactly is so special about what exactly specifically is so special about Rebecca that Dragon Joe wants. And Uh, the best I can definitely gather at this point is that this, with her name being Blugarden, it's going to expand on the mysteries surrounding Mother and the Sakura cosmos and just the universe in general, in the sense where the Blugarden family probably has some secrets tied to that area of space. So it opens up the door in order to dive a lot more into the exploration. Just overall, it does open up the door in order to dive a lot more into the exploration of this world. Um, but yeah, uh, but yeah, as- and also I, and yeah, as a whole too, it just kind of does make you wonder exactly what kind of it does make you want it does make us definitely want to kind of like dive deeper into into what Rebecca's life was like pretty much before she met Shiki, because like and into what Rebecca's, I guess, I guess if he's going to retread anything with Lucy, I guess we can kind of get a guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what exactly her life was like back then. um And now, aside from that, the rest of the chapter was focused mainly on the battle of Shiki versus Jin, which was fairly straightforward, aside from the fact that we essentially we get an interesting concept introduced, which is not necessarily new. Like, I think this is something we kind of knew. I think that was even introduced early on in the series, but which is that while humans can wield ether gear, there is a limitation to how much power they can kind of harness compared to machines. Like if like it as it's basically as Jin basically proved with his modifications in this chapter, just the fact that he modified his body in order to be more machine, it allowed him to tap into into a greater reserve of power from his ether gear. But pretty much because so far as we know, but because Shiki is mostly human, um, I it does mean that that there is a limit to how much power he can tap into. I do like this. With that said, I do like this setup in the sense where it's forcing Shiki in order to move beyond those limitations and possibly tap into the same power he used against Kurenai. Um, and overall, I do like this setup, but it also does make me wonder if Mashima set the bar a little, because it's one of those things where, it does make, Mashima did set the bar a little high, it still, all of it still works within the rules of the world, and it does actually add a little extra element to the hatred prejudice of machines of this world. Now, with that being said, um, I'm kind of, with that being said, I am kind of worried going forward, in the sense where Mashima's going to make some kind of reveal that Shiki isn't fully human, which which again, I guess it would have to make the most sense in order for in order for it to work properly, in order for him to tap into that kind of power. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I want Shiki to remain human. Like, I don't want Mashima in order to make him some kind of like half machine, half human hybrid thing. Like, I want him to be just a regular old human, and I hope he stays on that path. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. Um, but but overall, the pretty much fight in itself was good. And But yeah, guys, I honestly, just the stuff with Rebecca alone, it makes me like want the next chapter now. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Analyst, or Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.